man's life swings like a pendulum between pain and boredom. Arthur Schopenhauer. What if everything you've been told about happiness is wrong? We live in a world obsessed with positivity. Follow your bliss. Stay happy. Good vibes only. But what if this relentless chase for happiness is actually making you miserable? What if, behind every forced smile, every Instagram perfect moment, and every motivational quote, there's a darker truth no one wants to face, that happiness is a lie? Arthur Schopenhauer, the dark philosopher of pessimism, believed, life is not a pursuit of joy, but an endurance of suffering. And the harder we chase happiness, the deeper we sink into misery. Today, we're going to explore why the modern cult of happiness is destroying you, why suffering, not pleasure, is the real key to growth, and how to escape the toxic grip of positivity by finding meaning in life's darkest corners. Get ready, because what you're about to hear may shatter everything you thought you knew about happiness. 1. The seduction of happiness, and why it's a trap. Why do we feel so empty when we finally get what we want? You've probably felt it. The moment you achieve a goal, get the promotion, buy the car, fall in love. And yet, a strange emptiness creeps in. The thrill fades. The excitement dulls. Soon, you're restless again, setting new goals, chasing the next high. Schopenhauer believed that happiness is not something we achieve. It's something we borrow. It's a brief escape from the relentless suffering that defines life. Our desires, he said, are like a treadmill. You run, and when you finally grab the prize, you discover it wasn't the finish line. It was just another lap. Why does this happen? Because desire is endless. The moment you satisfy one craving, another takes its place. You conquer one mountain, and the horizon teases you with 10 more. You think happiness awaits you just after the next achievement, but it slips through your fingers the moment you touch it. Modern psychology calls this the hedonic treadmill, but Schopenhauer saw it centuries ago. He argued that the real reason we chase happiness is because we're terrified of facing the void inside us. We distract ourselves with pleasures, victories, and indulgences so we don't have to confront the terrifying truth that underneath it all, we are restless, suffering creatures. Dark psychology understands this too. Marketers, influencers, politicians, they all prey on your fear of emptiness. They sell you happiness as a product, knowing you will keep coming back for another hit. But here's the nightmare truth. The more you pursue happiness, the more miserable you become. Every step forward deepens the addiction. Every achievement raises the bar, and when you finally pause and ask, "What am I running toward?" the answer often terrifies you. 2. The beautiful lie of toxic positivity. What if smiling through pain is the most dangerous thing you can do? We live in a culture of toxic positivity. Stay grateful. Look on the bright side. Everything happens for a reason. But underneath this shiny mask is a dark truth. Forced happiness is emotional repression. Schopenhauer believed that suffering is the natural state of life, and when we deny it, we don't rise above it. We sink deeper into it. The more you tell yourself, "I should be happy," the more you attack your own mind when you're not. The more you suppress anger, grief, and disappointment, the more they metastasize in your unconscious, shaping your behaviors, sabotaging your relationships, and poisoning your self-worth. Dark psychology teaches that repression always has a price. A smile can be a mask, and beneath the mask lurks rage. The quiet, people-pleasing coworker can become the office saboteur. The always cheerful partner can explode with unpredictable cruelty. When you silence your pain, you don't heal it, you feed it. Schopenhauer's message wasn't that suffering is something to escape, it's something to face. We are conditioned to avoid pain at all costs, but in doing so, we create a fragile self, one that shatters the moment life stops cooperating. If you want to stop being a puppet to your own mind, you have to stop pretending everything's fine. But here's where it cuts deeper. When you project fake happiness, you don't just lie to yourself, you lie to others. You create relationships built on surface comfort, not depth. You surround yourself with people who fear conflict, who flee from honesty, who crumble under hardship. Schopenhauer's brutal insight. The happiest-looking people are often the most broken, because they have buried their pain so deeply that even they can't see it anymore. 3. Suffering as the engine of growth. If your greatest strength is buried inside your greatest pain, here's the paradox. The things we fear most, the heartbreaks, failures, humiliations, are often the very things that make us strong. Schopenhauer didn't see suffering as pointless agony. He saw it as the furnace where character is forged. Look at the people you admire most, not the celebrities, but the survivors. Those who've endured betrayal, loss, poverty, illness, and emerged not broken, but transformed. What dark psychology understands, and what modern self-help ignores, is that strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in pain. When you suffer, you are forced to confront your limits, your illusions, your deepest fears. Suffering burns away the false self, the shallow ego that clings to external validation. Without suffering, there is no resilience. Without challenge, there is no wisdom. Without loss, there is no depth. The problem is that most people waste their suffering. They run from it, numb it, or deny it, never realizing that it's their greatest teacher. Schopenhauer's brutal message is this: stop trying to be happy and start learning how to suffer well. Because once you face your pain without flinching, it can no longer control you. And here's something no motivational speaker will tell you. The people who walk through their suffering with open eyes become dangerous. They become unpredictable. Because when you are no longer afraid of pain, you become someone the world can no longer control. 4. The dark trap of desire. What if your dreams are the chains keeping you miserable? We live under the illusion that if we just had more money, more love, more status, we'd finally be happy. But Schopenhauer tore this illusion apart. Desire, he said, is a prison. It's the root of all suffering because it keeps you eternally dissatisfied. You've felt it, the craving for something you don't have, the anxiety of chasing it, the brief thrill when you get it, and then, almost instantly, the craving returns. Desire is an addiction that has no cure, and here's where dark psychology steps in. Society is built to exploit this loop. Consumerism survives because you're never allowed to feel content. Romantic scripts thrive because you're never allowed to feel whole. Ambition flourishes because you're taught that your worth depends on winning. You are the perfect subject for manipulation, as long as you are restless, hungry, and unsatisfied. Schopenhauer's radical solution was not to stop desiring entirely, but to become aware of desire. To observe it, name it, and understand it for what it is. A wave that rises and falls, but never defines you. Freedom comes not from fulfilling every want, but from stepping outside the loop. The dark side of desire is that it feeds identity. We say, I am someone who needs love. I am someone who must succeed. But the moment you attach identity to craving, you lock yourself in a cycle of suffering. When you can look at your desires and say, ah, here you are again, without obeying them, you become truly free. 5. Meaning beyond pleasure. What if the secret to life isn't feeling good, but living well? If happiness is an illusion and suffering is inevitable, what's left? For Schopenhauer, the answer was simple but hard to accept. Meaning. is what transforms suffering into purpose. It's what gives you the strength to endure, the clarity to choose, the resilience to stand alone. Modern culture trains you to avoid discomfort, but meaning asks you to step directly into it. Think about the most meaningful moments in your life. Were they happy? Or were they hard, painful, even agonizing, yet unforgettable? Loving someone deeply is not painless. Creating something worthwhile is not effortless. Facing your shadow, your failures, your mortality is not easy. And yet, these are the moments that give your life weight and depth. Dark psychology teaches that the search for meaning is the ultimate rebellion against a world designed to distract you. When you stop seeking shallow pleasure, you become unpredictable, self-directed, and unshakable. Schopenhauer knew that pleasure fades, but meaning endures. The challenge is this: will you chase the easy high, or will you walk the harder road, the one that carves you into something unforgettable? Final challenge: will you keep chasing the lie? So here's the question: will you keep chasing the lie of happiness? Will you keep running from suffering, numbing your pain, pretending everything's fine? Or will you turn and face the darkness? Because here's the brutal truth: the life you want begins when you stop needing to feel good all the time. It begins when you embrace life as it is, not as you wish it to be. Schopenhauer believed that freedom comes not from escaping suffering, but from making peace with it. And when you do, you become something rare, something dangerous, something powerful. You become someone the world can no longer control. If this message hits you in the gut, if you're ready to break free from the chains of toxic positivity and walk the harder but more meaningful path, subscribe to the channel. This isn't self-help fluff. This is your initiation into something deeper. In the next video, we'll go even further into the dark heart of philosophy, into the thinkers who didn't promise happiness, but transformation. Don't miss it, because your awakening starts the moment you stop running.